in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You can hate him for not making that fight happen, but this is an unbiased show. We talk boxing. If it is just some missed details, the Double RT Boxing Show, Mr. A is here to help you because that's what we do. We talk that boxing, spit that fire on the internet, dragging on the net, hashtag dragging on the net. Follow me at Twitter at RRTB Show. Double RT, the Double RT, the Double RT Boxing Show with Mr. A. All right. Thanks for tuning in. It is I, your host, Mr. A. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Now, this show is going to be about the up and coming week of fights. But first, we're just going to do a little recap of what has happened and some boxing news. I start the show. A fight I'm interested in went to purse bid. Maddie Askins and Lawrence Okoli. I am real interested in that fight. When I started the show a little over a year ago, I had no idea who Maddie Askins was. I just, I seemed like a fighter. I saw his record, saw what the fight was. I did a prediction on his fight, and it was one of my highest viewed things. So I was like, oh shit, Maddie Askins has a fan base. So ever since then, I've been tracking him. So he's a good fighter. I like his style. I think I covered like 2 of his fights on the show, and him and Lawrence Okoli should be a very interesting fight. So that has gone to purse bid. That would definitely have a breakdown and prediction right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. Definitely on that one. Pacquiao says, he has 2 to 3 fights left in him. And he says Khan, Crawford, Lomachenko, all possibilities. Team Lomachenko came out and said, if that fight happens, it's at 135, no catch weights, no bullshit. And I'm kind of glad they said that, because will it be a good fight? Yeah, but Pacquiao going down that low, I don't think so. And I don't think Lomachenko could do a 140. I don't think his frame is 140-ish. I don't think so. So I'm kind of glad to kind of squashing that before the talks even get even bigger or just nonsense. What else has happened this week? Our announcements. Kell Brook is off the Dylan White Parker card due to a ankle injury that he's injured 2 weeks ago. They're hoping he can heal it, but no, that has not been going successfully. So they scrapped him off the card, and they're trying to get Nick Webb and Joy Joyce, the Juggernaut, as a replacement. Not a bad fight, a nice domestic little heavyweight rival. According to Eddie Hearn, they're just waiting for Joy Joyce. It is hot in California, man. It's nighttime and it is still hot. And George Joyce should have no problem taking that fight, considering he's calling out Brian Jennings, Shizora. Who else did he call out? Big Baby. So get this Nick Webb scalp on his resume and start all over again. Anything else that has happened? Any news? AJ and Povetkin has been officially announced. They do their press conference tomorrow in New York, which is strange, but it's the world of boxing. A whole bunch of strange stuff happens. At one point, Wilder, for the Wilder fight, AJ was talking about he wasn't one to be going to New York and press conferences and all that. Now he's coming to New York to do a press conference for Povetkin. Eddie Hearn is saying this is Joshua's most dangerous fight, but when a dangerous fight against Wilder. He did 8 weeks wasn't enough. Wembley wasn't enough. Now the Povetkin fight is a dangerous fight. Anthony's most dangerous fight. 8 weeks is plenty of time for his most dangerous fight now. Wembley's available. It's all shamoni. And as far as dangerous fight, I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. I think Anthony Joshua's gonna spark him out of there pretty good. Gonna beat the shit out of him, actually. Anything else we go over? Gassiev and Uysk officially are in Moscow. That fight is coming. So, serious threat. Look at this. Reckons a serious threat. Yeah, whatever. And that is it. So now we'll go to a nice little recap of what has happened. On the 14th, you had Rocky Fielding going over to Germany and stopping the WBA champion Tyron Ziug. You know, it was a you could say a kind of dominating fight for Rocky. You know, the first 2 rounds he just kept it simple with a jab. Let Tyron feel his presence, feel his weight, feel his height, expand so much energy trying to fight off the big man. Then midway through round 4, he just poured it on Tyron. 5th round, he just beat his ass, knocked him out, but knocked him down, and they threw in a towel. Then you go on to the Manny Pacquiao card versus Lucas Matisse, and boy, that card was stacked. I was really looking forward to that whole card, not just the main event. And to me, that card itself, I give that card almost, because you figure it had 4 title fights. Ben Liu was a KO. Gonzalez KO'd Ben Liu. Murati stunned the shit out of Wasim with starting off so fast. That was a good fight. You had in the co-main event, Tipura, even though he didn't be his normal self, he showed more wrinkles to his game than I thought he had. But in the main event itself, Pacquiao looked pretty damn good. You know, was it Pacquiao? Was it Matisse? But hey, it was a pretty good thrashing. Like I said, the first fight, Ben Liu going for greatness, 1-0, taking on, I think it was what, 22-0 or something, 26-0. Kanzazala, forgot his name, the champion, and he just got his ass beat. Ben Liu, you know, the first 2 fights were people daring to be great. Muhammad Wasim taking on the former champion Murati Matalani, and Matalani and Gonzalez, they showed their experience on these young, experienced boys. You know, they put aggression on them. They put punches and bunches on them, and then eventually they just start walking them down. And like I said, it's hard to get the Lomachenko bug and ride it. You know, Lomachenko made it look easy, so all these people think they could just come out and do it and just skip the experience build-up fights. You know, it's a reason people fight those so-called bums, tomato cans, you know, just to get that experience. And those 2 guys found out the hard way. Ben Liu was taking heavy shots. You know, he finally got dropped. And when he got dropped in the 12th round again, he was like, he got up, stumbling around back and forth, like, where am I, looking around. And then Wasim, even though he dropped Murati in the 11th round, he was used to being the bigger, more talented man in his fights. So he'd throw his combination and he'd just stand there, and Murati would just bang him right back. He wasn't used to someone fighting him back. He learned you can't stay there and admire your work. Because every time he throw a little combination, Murati will just block all that and just pow, bang him right back. So those two guys definitely learned in a title fight. Experience does matter. You can't just jump the fence and enjoy the other side of the party. And then, like I said, the co-main event, Jacques Jipora, he showed more wrinkles. He wasn't just a come-out bruiser. He put us the jabs together, step back uppercuts. He knew how to. The only thing I didn't like on him was also what Chris Alzeri was stepping on. I wish he could throw more than one punch at a time. He either counter one at a time or he just throw maybe one at a time. And he was doing it so often it could be easily timed. So like I said, he's in a division with some champions, dude, some good fighters as well. Just like I said, he's the interim. You know, if he's trying to fight Leo, I don't know if he could throw one punch at a time with Leo Santa Cruz. Then you got Manny Pacquiao. What can you really say? You know, the dude is 39 years old. He still looks like he has some speed. You know, a 39-year-old Manny Pacquiao is still pretty damn faster than your average 30-year-old in the ring. Thank you for putting up for me with this drinking, man. I had this thing in the freezer all freaking day. So it's a nice block of sugar-free black cherry ice water. I feel so damn good right now. It is hot. It's so hot. They're keeping my swimming pool open, you know, and usually they shut it down, but the pool is still open. It's like it's 10:30 at night here, and they usually shut it down like at 9 o'clock. But anyway, back to the boxing, motherfucker. So Manny Pacquiao, he showed a good left hand straight down the middle, the footwork in and out, the feints, his off the line punch. They look good. Matisse, I think that one when he knocked him down the second time, when that like it was nice. He threw like 3 little right jabs out and just came with the right hook and it grazed him. I won't be surprised because if you see Matisse's eye, it had that little swell under it. That's that same swell. If you notice that his eye and Carol Brooke, that's that orbital bone swell. So who knows if there's a little fracture from that, like, because he went down, like that punch didn't look like it hurt. It looked like he felt it again, like, oh shit, it's that pain, you know. So maybe, but hey, maybe it was a good little temple chin check, but it looked like it was a little crack because it had that little orbital bone puff. So that was the recap of those fights. Good week. I give that Manny Pacquiao Lucas Matisse card, and Manny's saying he wants his next fight to be in the USA. Cool, you know. I give that card probably like a B plus, man. A B plus. A. You can even argue and say that card deserves an A. 4 title fights. All 4 title fights were good. You know, both competitors in each fight came to fight. So even the Tapora and Ortega, both those dudes were fighting. Now that that's out the way, we get into what's the up and coming week. Of course, everyone knows this Saturday is the WBSS final, Uysk and Gassiev, and that card is loaded. So I'm not going to get into the card on this one. It's just loaded. I'm going to try and get another show just for that card. And Saturday is also the Jaime Munguia and Liam Smith. But what's happening up until that and what's happening on the 20th, you know, there's other fights us boxing fans also have a little giddy up to look forward to. And that's what we're going to talk about right here on the Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing. We're going to talk about other stuff, you know, other stuff. This Friday, the 20th, there's 3 fights. Actually, no, there's 4 fights. Excuse me, 4 fights. You have Jonathan Gonzalez, a flyweight. Like I said, we talk about rankings here on the WRT boxing show. Jonathan Gonzalez is 22 losses and 1 draw, taking on Julian Yarez for the WBO Latino flyweight. And the reason why I bring this fight up, Jonathan Gonzalez is ranked across all 4 organizations. He's number 15 by the WBC, number 6 by the WBA, number 14 by the IBF, and number 8 by the WBO. So he's out there making a name for himself. So I'm gonna try and cover that fight. So us fans, when he gets his title shot, we'll be a little familiar with him. That's what I tried to do for us. And how I said earlier, it's not easy to be great. That daring to be great shit, trying to hop the fence without experience, taking on some legends, some champions. This is somewhat one of those fights. Is it more of a cherry pick? Perhaps, but the guy who took the cherry pick, the guy who accepted it, I should say, he's daring to be great. He's like, I'll take that fight. In Canada, making his return, Jean Pascal. 32 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. He is taking on Steve Bosse. Both these fighters are 36 years old. In a 10-rounder, Steve Bosse is 1-0. Taking on Jean Pascal. Oui. What do you make of that fight? What do you make of that fight? 1-0. Jean Pascal's comeback fight. Do you shit on Jean Pascal for that? Or do you just give credit to Steve Bosse? Like, fuck it, you're 1-0 and you're taking on Jean Pascal, dude. We'll see what that got like that. This is the 20th. And also on the 20th is Luis Veron. Veron taking on Carlos Aquino for a WBO Latino welterweight belt. So there's a Latino action happening for the WBO on the 20th. This we got the flyweight Latino WBO, and we have the WBO welterweight Latino welterweight for the WBO. And on this one, we're mentioning this one because Louis Vernon, he too is ranked across the board. It's funny, he's ranked 15 by the WBA. Is he really ranked the same fucking spots as Jonathan Gonzalez? I just have a mind gap on that one. But that is bizarre. These two guys are ranked the same spots. Did Mr.A have a fucking glip? Let's see here. The welterweights. Yeah, Louis Vernon. He is, I had a glip. He's number 7 by the WBO. And that is it. So he's got a pretty high ranking in the WBO. And he's going for that WBO Latino belt. That's why I said the main reason why I wrote this down is for Terrence Crawford. This could possibly be a Terrence Crawford opponent. Because he's, like I said, he's not going to get no Errol Spence anytime soon. He's not going to get no unification bout anytime soon. So, look at that. Number 1 is Castillo Clayton. Eventually, that's going to be a mandatory. You got Igis Kavalaskis. He looks subpar. You got Jesse Vargas, Adrian Broner, Giovanni Stallion, Roberto Araza. And then you got Louis Vernon right there, number 7. Mika Shanoni, and number 8. Jeff Horn, number 9. Number 10 and number 11, Kerman Laraja. That number 10 comes to fight. My boy Kurajatilo. What's that? Abdul Karhorov. He's number 11. I like him a lot. I just don't know if it's Terrence Crawford, man. Who the hell's gonna beat Terrence Crawford? Rashidi Ellis. He's a top rank. Is he Golden Boy? So he might get a shot, a voluntary spot. So he just fought on a couple weeks ago on ESPN. Very disappointing. Slappy punching guy. So that's, like I said, Louis Vernon is happening on the 20th for the W Latino welterweight. So check that fight out. Like I said, it's he's in the running for Terrence Crawford. So you want to know all the possibilities who Terrence Crawford could fight, and that's, like I said, that's what we do on the Double RT Boxing Show. We give you the options, we give you the coverage, break down those fighters, let you know who they are, so not just bums, their opponents. And the main fight I'm looking forward to on the 20th is a PBC Showtime card. The co-main event is Zili Zhang from China, the 6'7" heavyweight from China, the 2008 bronze medal or silver medal, something like that. I mentioned him, and how can Wilder build his brand? This guy right here. We don't know him. The states don't know him. If Wilder fights this guy, he's gonna get shitted on. I know that. But if Wilder fights him in China, take that belt, be a world champion, go fight this 18-0 Olympic medalist. He fought AJ in the Olympics and lost. But go fight this guy in China. That will build Wilder big. It may not help his opponent credibility, but as far as a worldwide attraction, getting a China market as a knockout artist, if Deontay Wilder can knock this guy out the way he knocks people out in China, that'll do something for him. So I'm interested. He's fighting Eugene Buchmuller. He's 11-2, 8 KOs. He's 37 years old. But the thing is, Zilali Zhang is ranked number 12 in the WBO. That's the only one he's ranked in. So I don't know if they can somehow throw him in the WBC, but they can. But it's just a little weird that he's in a PBC card on Showtime. And there's also a Fio Ming. I forgot what division he's on, but he's on the undercard. I don't know if he's going to be televised, but he's another ranked Chinese fighter. What division is he in? Yeah, I forgot the division Fio Ming is in. I want to say he's I can't find him right now. But anyway, he's on the undercard of that. But basically, those 4 fights: Louis Vernon, Carlos Aquino for the WBO Latino welterweight, Jean Pascal taking on Steve Bosco, the 1-0 Steve Bosco, Jonathan Gonzalez and Julian Yares, WBO Latino flyweight, and the main event for the Friday 20th is Zili Zhang, making it from China, the 6'7" heavyweight, on a PBC Showtime card. They could be trying to build it. That'd be crazy if Mr.A is on to something. Take Wilder's ass to China. So that is Friday. And then, of course, we got Saturday, the main day. Uysk and Gassiev. Now, Gassiev, man. Who do you got for that fight, folks? Who do you got? I did my breakdown and prediction. You can go watch that fight. Go watch that show, so see who I picked. I picked Gassiev to win that fight. Is it by knockout? Is it by points? I'm going back and forth, but I'm going to go with points. I think Uysk is going to be outboxing him, moving around, but I just don't know if he's going to be, with all that movement, I don't know if he's going to be able to have the oomph on his punches to stop the Iron Man from coming in. Because if he tries to, I'm believing if he tries to sit down and get the Iron Man's respect, he's going to be in that punch ring. And I don't think Usyk's going to be able to handle the Iron Man for 12 rounds, sitting there trying to keep him off. And that movement, like I said, that movement and punching that he does, those pity pats, I don't think that's going to be enough to stop Gassiev from coming in. And if he could take Dorzako's shots, I think he could take Usyk's shots and break Usyk down and get some. Like I said, I think Usyk's going to be getting those point shots, and I think Gassiev's going to be getting those hard, those fucking thudding shots. So I think it's going to be, what do you want? Do you want pity pat point, lots of action, prettiness, visuals? Do you want the visual points, or do you want those Gassiev points? And I think Gassiev's gonna get those those. If we're playing Street Fighter, I guess Usyk's gonna be hitting the weak punch, and while Gassiev's gonna be all strong punch, so it's gonna be like that, That's how I think that fight's gonna go, and I think it's going back and forth. But it's like a 7-5 round, 7-5 fight, Gassiev, and the new undisputed champion. Well, yo, now that is of course the main event on Saturday. Like I said, that whole undercard is stacked. You got Cecilia Baracus taking on Ina something. That Ina, she has a good range on her. She's linky. She attacks the body real well. She works her way up. So, she has a good jab. She has a step back jab, and she has a long range to step forward. So Celia Brackett, like I said, she comes in and she does that same shit, and Callie Reyes caught her. So she's gonna have to watch out against Ina. That's gonna be a good fight. Like I said, I'm gonna go more in depth on that card on another show because it's just a stacked card. You got Fedor Chudov. You got Konstantin Ponomarev. It's a really. You even got a Breedis on that card. You got Denis Shabanov on that card. That card is stacked. So it's a final, so they're stacking that card. Now, also on the 21st, you got some interesting fights here. Interesting fights. Now, this one, he's ranked number 9 by the WBA. And it's a bantamweight fight. Kitapong Jayarangi, 68-1-1, taking on a 14-2 Tenta Kiyoshi. Now 68-1-1. That's fucking outstanding ass record, but he's only ranked number 9. So what does that tell you? You go look at this dude's fights. In 2017, he had 5 fights. 5 fights in 2017. And his opponent's record was 0-1. He fought 4 people making their debut and 1 person who was 0-1. He's 68-1-1. He's ranked number 9 by the WBA. Get the fuck out of here. Dragging on the net, man. You gotta watch out for these people in the rankings sometimes, man. 68-1-1. And in 2018, he fought a guy, his last fight, who was 1-2. Get the fuck out of here. So I hope he gets his ass beat taking on this 14-2 guy, Tenta Kiyoshi. And also, number on the 21st, I should say, you have Curtis Stevens. Yes, the one David Lemieux fucking sent into oblivion. He is going for a vacant International Boxing Association middleweight title, the IBA. It's one of those underground ones, He's taking on. So Curtis Stevens is 29-6-0. Carlos Cruz is 18-2, 12 KOs. His two losses, he's been KO'd twice. Now, in his last 5 fights, Carlos Cruz, in 2015, he won 2 times. 16-17, he lost both those fights. And 18, he won those fights. His opponents in 2015 that he won were 2-8 and 0-16. He won those fights. In 16-17, he fought a guy who was 11-0. He lost. He fought a guy who was 9-2. He lost. And then earlier this year, he won a fight. The guy was 1-2. That's who Curtis Stevens is fighting, folks. Dragons on the net. Hashtag Dragon on the net. Get the fuck out of here, man. Then you got number 3, the WBO super middleweight intercontinental champion, Shifat Ishufi. Now, I watched his fight, but I think I forgot to put the fucking thing up here. He's ranked number 3 by the WBO super middleweight. And this guy, I forgot what country he's from, but he is not leaving that country. I want to say Turkey for some reason. I'm not too sure. Number 3, you got Roberto Ramirez, Jesse Hart, Callum Smith, and Shifat Ishufi. And then you got Vijender Singh, number 4, Vincent Finzenbunts, Arthur Abraham. I was looking forward to the Vijender Singh fight. You know, I know he had a fight coming up. I think it was going to be on the 10th, but it got canceled. I was looking forward to that fight. But this Shifat, his last fight, the one I covered and forgot to put up here, was the Rafael Santos Pintos, that veteran. He should have put that guy out, but he took him all 12 rounds and got a unanimous decision. I don't know if you guys know who Shifat Ishufi is. He's an arm-slapping, punching guy. He's a local man legend, you know. He ain't gonna do shit. To me, he ain't gonna do shit out of his country. He's another one. He's like this guy over here, Kitty Pong G Ron, 68, 1-1. These are the people, you know. People always, you know, saying, "Oh, so and so is ducking me. So and so is ducking me." You know, everyone wants to fight David Benavidez. People want to fight George Rose. People want to fight Jose. Well, they wanted to fight James DeGale at the time. You know, they need to call out people like this. Shifat Isufi. He's number 3 at the time. Before he's like number 5. You know, call out Jalen Love. Even though he got to fight, I know he got to fight with Peter Quillen. Call out John Ryder. Call out Isaac Ipo. David Brophy. You know, these guys need to be fighting each other. Anthony Yarderman, the one Chris Eubank knocked out. That dude's been like 3 fights since that knockout, and he is climbing. He's back. He's already back at number 5 in the WBC. He climbed himself up quicker. You figure, Callum Smith, he's finally about to get a WBA shot, so he's not gonna be at number, because I know the WBC, they have some like the Muhammad Ali belt, so I don't know if they're still gonna give Callum Smith his number 1 ranking. But after that, they got Anthony Durrell, and I believe that's who David Benavidez is fighting. Then you have Jesse Hart, Eubank Jr., and Yarderman. You got Najab Muhammad. That's number 7, Najab Muhammadi. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that's who number 1 in the WBA, Fedor Chudidov, is fighting on the undercard of the Uysk Gassiev fight. That's one of the stacked cards. So it's a WBA fight. So you got a number 1 fight in number 13. So that's that fight. Yeah, but people, like I said, Shifat Ishufi, #3 by the WBO. People need to call his ass out. Need to get Vincent Feigenbrandt. He's a good fighter. He comes to fight you. Rocky Fielding just got that WBA regular title, so he jumped from 5 to world champion. So people call him out. Call him out, try and get that shot. But I believe the WBA world, I think you only fight the WBA people. I don't know if you could really fight other people with that belt. But yeah, these guys need to stop calling each other's names out. No, the WBC is Zukbek Abugafril. I like that guy, #11 for the WBC. But anyway, on to what's happening. I went a little off. I started looking at the super middle. I like the super middleweight division. I like that division a lot. So then, before we want to end it here, but also on the 21st, like I said, the Houston card is stacked. Jaime Munguia and Liam Smith, Machado Messina. I did break down the predictions on those fights. You can go check them out. Will Beefy be able to handle the pressure and the power shots of Munguia? He's saying he's going to upset him. I got a lot of people thinking that he is. I'm not one of those people. I think Munguia's going to get him. Machado should make easy work of Messina. And also, we're going to end it on Rungavise, Sir Rungavise. He's fighting on the 21st. But it's a non-title bout. He's fighting some guy who's bringing some guy back out of retirement. So they're not even going to let him defend his belt against him. So that lets you know what type of fight that's going to be. Just a nice little stay busy fight. This is the Double RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. That's a quick recap. I went over some fights, so hopefully you guys find this interesting and it wasn't just me shooting shit at a screen. Maybe there's maybe 1 or 2 fights. You're like, oh shit, I'll check those out. That's what is going to be happening in the week of boxing this week. Hopefully you do check some out. We have some things to talk about. Follow me on Twitter at the Double RT Boxing Show. Double RTB Show. Double RTB Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Thank you for your time and support.